Are you pouring this?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to introduce Jim as our other guest.
So we have 3 guests. Two
Four.
guests. Are you dipping right now?
Yeah, I was like, why do I have this in if I'm about to do that?
See, Logan, we decided was just going to be like, so Logan was going to teach me how to, well, we'll talk about that.
Are you the colorful analyst?
So Logan was going to be, just teach me how to record and do all this stuff and just edit. But then my last podcast with Will and the one with Steve, like Logan just had like good questions.
Yeah.
Because he's just sitting there chilling and then he'd just be analyzing the whole thing like, oh, elaborate on that more. And so it'd open up more. And I was just like during the last episode, I'm like, Logan, why don't you just stay around? Like, just.
Yeah, you're a good podcaster.
Well, it's good to have like an extra. It actually helps a lot having somebody with you that watches all the equipment.
Yeah.
Because like I'd fucking forget the cameras would go off in 30 minutes and then we'd lose all the content.
Yep.
Logan's just like dialed in and me. So I was like, dude, why don't you just be here for all of them? It makes fucking sense.
That's the last time I was talking a little bit more than I did. And then this time we have the camera on me. But I'm not officially a guest. I'm just.
Is this my camera?
That's your camera.
Okay.
See, we got.
I'm gonna wait and ask all questions when we're rolling, because I have like tons.
Well, we are rolling.
I might be burping a lot.
Are we gonna like just,
chugging that ghost?
Is this how we're gonna do? First of all, that's the best one.
There's
I haven't had one like I haven't had a ghost in months.
There's an actual intro
Something wrong with you.
that we would typically do, but I also like sometimes to just let it roll because you never know what I'll use. I may use 30 seconds of us bullshitting and then go into it. We'll see.
I like the. I think when I go get back into podcasting, I think I'm gonna just roll right into it.
You're gonna record here?
Maybe it's expensive over here.
What? Wait,
Just kidding.
I'll work with you, Tyler. I think we can work with you.
We can figure that out. Yeah.
I'm trying to find people to get in here, man.
Your mic.
Oh,
Way
excuse
too far
me.
away.
Oh shit.
Is it? So I have to be like
You're good. You're better than he is. He does.
that's not true at all. I'm no better than any man.
Wow. You're better than him. That's literally.
Actually, you're better than him. Oh,
you,
okay.
Logan.
Oh, okay.
He ends up doing this a lot.
Yeah.
Like and then
Leaning
it's,
into
and
the
then it's
conversation.
behind, it's behind him.
Hey.
So
Hey.
I think the over under is on like 3 times per episode. I'll have to stand up and go move Joe's mic.
Oh yeah. You'll just see his hand come.
Just come in here.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I'm so bad about it.
That's amazing.
You know what? But this is why we have Logan. He's my little savior.
Thank God for Logan.
Thank God. Amen. Amen for Logan. God, I feel like I got a burp. You know.
You should take a shot of whiskey. It'll make you feel good.
Golly, dude.
Jesus.
Don't show that, man. I'm just kidding. I don't care.
No, I probably won't show that. That was something else.
That was absurd. All right. Here we go.
I'm in.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Jesus. Where were you
The Ambition Podcast.
Where were you going with
I
that
almost said
one, brother?
ambition. Jesus.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man. Get that out of your heads. What is ambition? No.
That's hilarious.
That was amazing. I love this intro.
All righty. So welcome to the Relentless Pursuit Podcast. We're filming in the evening today. We've got a special guest for you. You've seen him before. Let's give it up for my boy Tylor Gentry of Ambition Threads Company.
Not all at once.
Yes. And we also got my boy Logan
What's going on?
with Cinema 83.
On the ones and twos.
Yes, doing the recording, paying attention to things, asking questions, giving some input. He's very solid. And tonight, we got our special guest, Jim Beam.
Oh, man.
Jim Beam Black. So
Thank God he's here.
it's trashy, but, you know, it's like it's trashy, but he's got a tie on.
Yeah.
Or he's
So
got
it's
a
like
bow tie.
It's like a tuxedo t-shirt.
Yeah, like Jim Beam Black steps it up just a notch.
I love it.
I'm not a whiskey connoisseur by any means.
Could have fooled me.
So I don't know. This to me, they all taste the same. Yeah. Some people would probably get upset that I said that, but I'm like, whiskey's whiskey. I'm more of a wine guy, anyways.
Two of my buddies are like they literally collect they collect barrels. They go to do all these things, and I said the same thing. I was like, yeah, I'm just kind of like a Jack guy, and they were like, dude, do you even know? And I was like, apparently not.
Dude, I'll tell you what. Like, yeah, I went somewhere. We were hanging at this person's house, and they had they did like a flight, and they went. We went through 8 different kinds of whiskeys, like very expensive ones, and I'm just like, they included me because I was there.
Like, I guess I'll hang out.
And by the time we got into it, everybody's like, "What's your favorite?" And I was like, "Man, I forgot which one was which. To be honest, I just don't know."
But I will agree to you up to a certain point that they're
they're
very similar.
Yeah,
That's not to say that
they're all the same.
they're all the same. but there are some of them that are eerily similar.
We'll say me with I'm gotten into drinking red wine.
Yeah,
I love like Cabernets and stuff, so I've got a little bit more of a taste for that.
Right.
I was drinking it every night.
Okay,
but
glad you slowed down.
Yeah, well, it's just kind of like a glass a night, but like my glass is like a big glass.
Yeah, it ended up being a gallon jug. Yeah. I was like, this is weird.
I was like, well, 2 bottles are empty. What is happening, Joe?
This is crazy.
Yeah.
I should drive to the store and get more.
Yeah, I need more. Well, now you think they'll probably bring it to you, but now I just it's a weekend thing.
Yeah,
slowed it down quite a bit.
Same here. I have not been drinking a lot. I'm getting married, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I've outkicked my coverage all the way across the board. So the only thing really that I'm gonna have going for me is my physique. So I've been really like tightening screws and trying to get in shape.
Like a supermodel, like Calvin Klein.
I'm trying, man.
Guy.
I'm trying. Nice. She makes me look good. So
hell yeah,
I got to make her. Like,
I think all three of us got that one covered.
What's that?
Like kicking our coverage.
100%.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm a good kicker.
Yeah,
that's what to say.
He got a big old leg.
That's the only thing I'm good at.
He's got a leg on him.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, we totally went off subject. So I'm gonna pour us up a little bit. Man. You know what I'm saying?
It's a little bit easier to do this when you're not recording at 9 a.m.
Yeah, it's a bit frowned upon.
I think maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends on who you're talking to.
I mean, I guess if you didn't have anything to do that day, but it's definitely a lot easier.
I like recording in the morning just because it's like a fun way to start the day.
Yeah, but what a good way to end the day. Before we cheers this, since we're live, first of all, I have to give. First of all, I'm gonna give some backstory. Okay, first, you and I have known each other for I don't know, 2-3 years.
Even longer than that. We
probably
met very long time
Yeah, we
ago.
met way
back
back
in my gorilla days.
Yeah. So that was probably, 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah.
So we've known each other pretty good for 2-3 years, maybe a little longer. I don't know. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. Huh? I know. Yeah.
So we've been going to shows together. I've known you forever. A dear friend of ours, I have to give a shout out to Mr. Hans Ballou, Mr. Tennessee Pre. Truly a legend.
Great man.
Oh God! Here we go. As a schoolgirl right now. This is the best day of my life. All right, so Hans and I at all these shows, we always talk, and we're always like, "Man, Joe's just such a good dude. Joe's just a good dude." Thanks. You know, blah 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 blah. Well, I get a text message one day of Hans, and he said, "Dude, I got something in the mail," and he sent me the Amazon wish list.
What is?
And I would like an autograph. Of the official Joe.
No, he did not bring this to the podcast.
Because I want an autograph because I told Hans I'd do it.
My
God.
I
want an autograph.
He did not bring the book to the podcast.
Tell me that's not the greatest thing you've ever seen. I'm going to put it up for now.
I'll be sure to sign it for you.
If you don't, I'm never coming back.
Have you ever seen one of your books in person like that?
No, yeah. So typically the authors send me a copy. Yeah, they always send me. So I got like 60 books at the house.
Dude.
Because I'm a lot of covers. That one, they darkened my beard.
Yeah,
So it throws me off.
I'm not going to lie to you. I wouldn't read it.
Did you read any of it?
I opened a page once and read a couple lines, and I was
pretty
like,
raunchy
this is crazy. I couldn't read it because you're on the cover.
Yeah,
I'd be like thinking of Joe the whole time.
You know who they're talking about.
Dude, I've read some. So I've been to events I've gone to, and they've had me read like excerpts. So they've had me sit in the middle of a room with like 100 people. And authors will just come up with different books, and they won't even be books with me on it.
And they're like,
they'll pick the dirtiest fucking couple pages, and they'll have me read it in front of everybody. That shit's out there on Facebook. So I'm like just reading this raunchy sex scenes, and it's funny. I just try to be a good team player.
You know, man, you're a trooper because I'm telling you right now, my poor mother, if she was in the crowd and I was reading that, she would look at me different. But it was crazy because
that is a trip.
Hans sent me the link and was like, "Dude, I ordered it. You've got to order it." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I have to order it." So I ordered it, and it came in. And my stepdaughter Ava,
God. Don't read this.
I pulled it out of the Amazon package, and I was like, "Oh yes, it came." And she was like, "Is that Joe?" And I was like, "It is." And she was like, Did he write that book?" And I was like, "No, he did not." And then I guess Morgan knew like what the contents of them, like she's seen a few of these, I guess. I don't know. Maybe she's read all of your books. I don't know. God. But she was like, yeah, and don't read that. And I was like, me? And she was like, I mean, yeah, don't read that. It's weird. I
haven't read any of them. I know amazing. If any of my authors are watching, I'm sorry. I'm working through a lot of books anyways. But
yeah, for some reason he didn't have time for the erotic novel featuring himself.
Yeah. He was like, I'll put that one on the back burner.
So maybe come back to that. Maybe a different.
I think at some point I'll read a couple.
I mean,
it'd be a good conversation starter. Say I'm like on a plane and I'm reading this book and someone's like,
you've got a picture of you.
Like, wait, what is going on?
That kind of looks like you on the cover of that book.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, it is.
No big deal. Oh, that's pretty cool. What kind of book is it? Oh, it's erotica.
Yeah, it's
so you're reading an erotica about you.
Yeah.
About you.
It's an in-depth novel.
Apparently, the stories are pretty good. I don't know.
I'm not much of a. I guess that's fiction. I'm not much of a fiction reader.
No, same. Unless it's anything like fantasy realm, like Lord of the Rings type stuff.
Yeah, but see, I would rather watch that.
Yeah.
I'm such a visual person. Like, I can't read anyway.
I've been doing a lot of reading lately.
Yeah. What? Give me. First of all, can we?
Cheers. So as Alexa would say, till death.
Did she say that?
Yeah, we were at after an event in. Wow,
that's delicious.
It's not that bad.
No, that's delicious.
That's actually, I am a whiskey snob.
Are you?
That's not too bad.
You didn't say anything the whole time.
Well, he's like, these idiots, these amateurs.
Well, the thing is
I'm going to mute this part.
I told him. yeah, you didn't know I had the button. I told him whenever we got here that I bought some Knob Creek yesterday, which is a really good bourbon.
Knob Creek is good.
And I was actually like, for the first time again, because it's an evening podcast, I was like, damn, I could actually bring that out. And I was like, oh.
I think it'd be kind of cool to do this on the evening ones. Like maybe I'll green. Oh, gosh.
Man, did you see that pterodactyl?
A bottle of whiskey or a bottle of wine or something. I think
it's a great idea.
It's kind of cool.
One thing I was thinking too is you could have a joint or something too. I don't know if your shit would blow up in here, but
yeah, I'm good with the crack idea. I genuinely love crack.
Actually,
funny story.
Let me check my fanny pack. No,
for the record, I don't do crack. That was a joke. So.
I mean, honestly, so where I'm going with this, and it'd be interesting for people to hear. This podcast has tended to be much more of a inspirational, motivational, relentless pursuit. People just going after their dreams and goals, which is awesome. That's very important. But I don't want it to be the same thing every time.
Yeah, of course.
And I want to have certain guests on multiple times. We're not going to repeat the same story over and over again. No. So I think it's fun to just kind of veer off and just talk about stuff. I mean, this is why Joe Rogan's so successful, because there's so much variety to it. I really don't even listen to Joe Rogan, but I've heard some of his stuff, and there's just so many different topics. So while I do want to keep it like the relentless pursuit idea, a lot of times it's fun to just talk with people and
absolutely
have just those deep conversations. I know Will and I talked about religion quite a bit, I think the only thing I don't want to talk about is politics, just because I hate all politics. So it'd be kind of a pointless conversation to have.
It's kind of... Yeah, it is what it is.
I just don't like politics.
I have a weird outlook on politics, though. Like, I think I'm just one of those delusional optimists. Like, I just genuinely think everything's going to be okay. I mean,
there's not very many of those anymore.
I don't like paying high gas prices. I don't like what's going, like all this craziness that's going on with all this raiding and all this crazy. Like, it's
negative, man. It makes you lose hope a little bit.
I think that's why I'm such a. Like, I think I've been tightening the screw even more lately is because of that. Like, there's so much going on that I'm like, it's going to be fine, guys.
Dude, and there's the thing is like, at the end of the day, if shit goes down, we're all screwed. We're all in the same boat.
Well, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
Ultimately.
And we do what we can. And I had someone ask me a while back, they're like, Joe, man, just with everything going on in the world, how do you stay just focused on like what you're doing with your brand and building that and this and stuff? Like, aren't you worried? And I'm like, man, okay, so yes, there's a good chance something going down.
Right.
But there's a good chance something doesn't go down in our lifetime. You never know. Yeah. And yes, it's pretty chaotic, and I don't try to like dwell on those things because Marcus Aurelius said something along the lines like, try not to worry about things that haven't happened yet.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, dude, I'm still going to like focus on my life and success and things I love and just enjoy that. And until shit happens, I'm just going to keep going forward. But if I sit there in a corner like this all the time,
well, and then
what if shit never happens? And then I just wasted my life like freaked out.
Yeah. And then you end up like the stereotype of what society is. Like, I don't see what the news says because the people that are around me or that I choose to have around or that, have been put in my path aren't these people hiding in their like in these crazy cellars in their basement, like, oh my God, the end of the world's coming. It's like the people that I know are people like you guys that are like, hey man, I was up at 6 a.m. just working out. Like, we're all doing these things, we're pursuing something. We're all doing these. We're all just keeping ourselves busy. Yeah. Like, it's really easy. Like, I was just talking to my wife the other day. Like, it's super, super easy to fall in that, like, I'm nervous. I don't know what to do. It's all uncertain. Man. But it's never been certain.
So one thing I try to focus on a lot, I'm reading the Bhagavad Gita, which is like one of the main books in like the Vedas, which is ancient Hindu, texts. Okay. In the Bhagavad Gita, I'm rereading it this time, but with just such a different heart into it. And I'm really taking it literal and I'm highlighting things. I mean, I'm loving it, man. And it's really just doing so much for me spiritually. And honestly, it just comes down to the fact that at the end of the day, this is all just material stuff. Like, whether it's today, tomorrow, 100 years from now, 1,000 years from now, 1 billion years from now, it's all going to burn away.
Stuff.
It's all going to disintegrate. Right. And like the main focus is my spirit. That's soul, right? And that's what you got to constantly work on in order to ascend. And so I try to just remind myself, even when it's like looking grim, I'm just like, man, but like it matters, but in the grand scheme, life here is just a blip. So it doesn't matter. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It matters so much. Like, I love my life.
Right.
But I realize that it's not the ultimate goal. Right. It's not the ultimate end. This is just a blip of eternity.
This is a mere pit stop.
And if you kind of force yourself to think that way,
Yeah. But again, you could go another rabbit hole too of like, people view that as like negativity as well. People view that as like, well, this doesn't even matter because blah, blah, blah.
See, I don't mean it in that negative mindset.
No, I'm not saying you did. I'm just saying people like
might think that.
Yeah, they like to transition it that way, and it's like, again, you are who you surround yourself with. If you surround yourself with a bunch of crazy skeptics who are nervous about everything, like, you're going to end up watching CNN or the news or Fox or whatever.
What's his face that's in he's like in trial right now, on trial.
Epstein?
No.
He's well past that point.
No. Fucking shit. The guy that's always yelling, his face is really red. InfoWars guy.
Oh, Alex Jones?
Alex Jones.
He's on trial?
I love Alex Jones. Well, yeah, I guess he's got to pay reparations to the families of the Sandy Hook victims.
Yeah.
Because he's called it out. He says it's like all a lie and bullshit, so he's got to pay like $50 million to these families.
Specifically what he said was he said that, but as part of his like argument, I guess, that it wasn't real, he said that the parents were actors.
Yeah. So now he's got to pay all that money, which I think is kind of silly. I think anybody's allowed to say and think what they want to do. So I think it's kind of like an issue for someone to have to pay money.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you qualify. I don't know how you qualify a dollar amount on that, but that was pretty.
That's worth $50 million.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like that's still, regardless of what anybody says. Like, I don't know, it's still freedom of speech, man. Like, the guy's allowed to say what he wants, but
you should be.
But you shouldn't have to pay millions and millions of dollars. No. I mean, to think that he has that amount of money is crazy. But he's always freaking out. And like, don't get me wrong, I love some of his stuff. I think it's entertaining, and he's been right about a lot of things. Yeah, he's not an idiot, but he's just freaking out about it. And I don't want to be that way, man. I'm just like, I want to enjoy my life too.
I think that's a foundation thing, man. Like, if you got strong foundation, you don't really have to worry about much.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a big, I know you said you didn't want this to be about the relentless pursuit, but I mean, it kind of all ties in. But
I don't know. I mean, you can come up all. Yeah,
I'm a big, like, I got to get my feet straight in the morning. I got to get my feet straight in the evening. Like, if I can have those two if I can control the controllables, all the stuff in the middle, like, it'll just kind of weed itself out.
You can only control what your shit.
Right.
You can only control what you do, right?
Right, 100%.
So,
100%. Dude, whenever I was just going to say real quick, whenever I had my YouTube channel, I founded it on politics, sports, and fitness was the three things. So
that's three interesting topics.
I would do fitness videos, and then I would do sports commentary, and then I'd do like current events, politics stuff, right?
Yeah.
And one of the best things I ever did was stop doing that shit, dude, because the politics stuff in particular, because it's draining, and it's also like,
it's a rabbit hole.
It's also very much like what at one point I realized I was covering stuff that was like just very like he said, she said, like high school drama bullshit from 70-year-old people that are running the country, and I was like, this is like, I don't even feel like this is a waste of my time. But it was definitely making me more angry. It was definitely taking taking time away from me.
My twin brother says that he had him and a buddy. They had it was called, I don't know if it ever launched or whatever, but it was called Common Ground, and it was. He's a libertarian and his
librarian.
Yeah, librarian. It's crazy.
My politics show was called Common Sense.
Oh, nice. Okay, so I'm sure similar, but he was a libertarian, and the other host was like a conservative, I think, and they would bring like other people who view different things, and they would just try and find common ground. And he was like, dude, I was going to do it, but he was like, I was just so stressed about it.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that would stress.
That's politics, man. It's people arguing over their book words.
Over nothing.
They're getting all their book words put together and they're yelling.
Yeah. You're like, dude.
It makes no sense.
Take
and
it.
It's almost like I feel from one standpoint, it almost feels like they, whoever they is, but like the people that make you not want you to, like the people that don't want you to say the things that you like believe, right?
Right.
I feel like in a way that they kind of won, like in my case, for example, because I was like, this is not worth it. And so in a way they kind of did shut, like I stopped talking about it because I was so, because I was worried about what I was going to say, or I was worried.
Or you just lost interest.
Or it was just draining me so much that it's like, maybe they, but
whatever. And
you got to do what's best for you.
I don't know that you were good or not good at it, but you're good at what you do. So I'm glad you stopped.
Well, I appreciate it.
Hey man, you're here now. Yeah. This is your home.
Yeah. We can talk about politics all you want. I will know not a thing.
Yeah, same. So like fitness, yes. You said politics, sports, and fitness.
Yeah.
Fitness is probably the only one I'll be able to talk about.
I could talk
because
I could talk sports.
See, I can't talk sports.
You guys got me missing the first Titans preseason game.
I was literally just about to ask, why are you here not watching the preseason game?
Fucked up, dude.
I thought the Super Bowl was like right around the corner.
Yeah, dude, tomorrow.
Super Bowl was right around the corner?
Yeah. I thought it was like next week.
It's like February.
Shit. Oh, wait, that's a Fit Show, Nashville Fit Show.
Oh, yeah, that's basically the same thing. Super Bowl.
Kind of.
So that's how up to date I am on sports. I did fantasy football with my brother-in-law and his friends for a while.
And you knew nothing about
it? Just because he always wanted me kind of a part of it.
Yeah.
And finally, like after this past season, he was like, "Hey man, we decided I think you're better off just like doing your own thing,
just not being a part of the group."
Yeah, because I was like, I think my name of my team, was I always had the same team name, was Team Cream Pie, just so I could yell at people at the end of the season, be like, "You've been cream pie," if I won.
It's a good catchpatchphrase.
Yeah,
it could be
It is a good catchphrase.
But I think one season I won everything, and I just had a really lucky draft.
Sometimes
I had a really lucky draft and nobody got hurt. It was like when Christian McCaffrey crushed it a few seasons ago.
See, I don't even know who Christian McCaffrey is.
He's like I just know he was the running back for the Panthers, but he was really healthy and he was killing it, and I didn't have any injuries, and so I just didn't change anything, and I beat everybody somehow, and I won the whole season, and everybody was so pissed off because I ignored the trades.
They all just got green.
People were trying to trade me and stuff, and I just didn't even realize that they were trying to do it. And then the following season, which was this past season, I just I'd be playing games with like 4 people on the bench,
You were the guy that's like, sorry guys, just check my messages. You still want Christian McCaffrey? It's like, bro, that was week 1.
After he tore his ACL.
Yeah. That was week 1 of last season.
Yeah, come on, dude. Jeez.
Yeah, that's sports, man.
That's funny.
I'm not a sports ball guy.
I'm definitely not. You're a sports guy, for sure.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with it. It's just
I love sports in the season that they're in, except like baseball's awfully long.
I'm not a baseball fan at all.
I feel like it never ends.
I like the NBA a lot more than I used to, but I think that I don't really.
I think they should.
The 82 game thing is just too much.
Let me ask you your professional opinion.
My professional opinion. Okay.
And you can chime in since you're such an avid fantasy player.
I got you.
I mean, you did just win. That's impressive.
It's pure luck.
Sometimes the people that don't know what they're doing win because they just do the smart thing. Like people who know a lot, they overthink it.
Yeah, that's a great point. My question is built off of a theory that I have about the NBA. First of all, I love watching certain players on the NBA, like Steph Curry,
Michael Jordan.
I'd never actually watched him but yes, similar to
Killer.
Joe's like, he still plays, right?
Yeah. Is he with the Mavs?
I'm not that ignorant. All right, I know.
When did the Mavericks play?
All right, we'll leave Joe alone.
Is he a center for the Braves? No. Do you think, here's my theory, and I will let you build off of this. In order to make the NBA a lot more attractive, should they raise the goal?
Should they raise the goal? Like, you think it's too easy to score?
Yeah, because they're all 10 foot tall.
One of my friends, Dakota, you know Dakota.
Yeah.
He's not a big sports guy. He does a little bit of combat sports, but he's not a big like football, basketball, whatever guy. This man hates basketball. And his main theory around it, well, for one thing, he says that they're soft, which, I mean, yeah. Generally compared,
it's pretty close to soccer.
Well, compared to the other sports, I would say that they definitely are soft. But guys are still tearing their Achilles and their ACLs and their fucking. I mean, it's not like they're just not touching. Like that's how somebody who doesn't really know anything about basketball is like they don't even touch each other. It's like no, that's not exactly true, but I get where you're coming from. But his other big thing is that it's super easy to score, and he's like, if it wasn't, my thing to him was it's not easy to score, and he said, well, if it wasn't, then they wouldn't be able to score 120 points a game. I'm like,
they don't normally though, do they?
Or like 100 to 120 in the NBA.
Is that the average?
In the NBA is that's somewhat regular. But the thing is like
I thought it was like 80 to 90.
I mean, I get where he's coming from, I guess, but like I don't know. I've played basketball before, dude. I'm absolutely terrible. I could you could
also you're 5'7" and white.
Yeah, true,
just like
true, but
whoa.
I can't shoot.
I love the sport.
I'm saying if you weren't even guarding me, there's no way I could. I'm not going to consistently hit shots. Like it's a very refined skill set, I think. And then I think that also, like Steph Curry, for example, like it's not easy to shoot a shot from 45 feet away with somebody who's 7 feet tall in front of you and make it into the basket way over there, and you have to shoot it over their outreach hand.
Flawless.
Don't get me wrong. I acknowledge each sport for their skill. I think it does take a lot of skill to be able to do that, especially consistently. You know what I'm saying? Like
absolutely
and manipulate the ball. The other thing I would say about it being a little bit more difficult than it seems, and I don't really know what to say about the fact that they score 100 to 120 points because I get the logic on that. Like, that seems like a lot, and it seems like if it was really hard, then they wouldn't score that much. But finishing, like driving to the basket, and coming up and under, and and spinning the ball off the backboard so that it perfectly, those kind of things, like It's a very refined skill set, but I get why people, I get people's. And the other thing about basketball is because they score 100 to 120 points a game, like my mom has always said this when I was growing up, she hates basketball because it doesn't matter till like the last 60 seconds. Because like they're both going to score 100 points. It's who scores 105 versus who scores 108.
I mean, that's a great point.
You know what I mean? So she's like, I don't even have to watch it till the last 4 possessions to see who's going to,
You could argue
But you could do that with any.
You could argue with that.
I'll be honest. I watch zero sports. I don't even watch, I love fighting, but I don't even watch fighting.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Dude, you have got to start watch fight. Come over to my house and watch
So I've been streaming King of the Streets. You heard of that?
No, not at all.
Oh, man. So I might be, I showed it to him. I'm looking at sponsoring them down the road.
Okay.
They emailed me. It's pretty,
Is that a plug?
What do you mean?
Is that a plug?
He hopes so. He hopes it's a plug.
Are you plugging in there? King of the Streets, shout out.
Oh, King of the Streets. What's up, guys? Yeah. Check me out. No,
a plug is where you plug in.
Well, it's a pretty pricey investment to sponsor because it's worldwide. So they shoot it in Sweden. And it's like underground, bare knuckle fighting. No rounds, no rules. So these dudes fly from all over the world. Like you get people from Eastern Russia, like Africa, or not Eastern Russia, but like Eastern Europe, probably some Russian dudes, like people from all over the world that go there and they fight underground in like garages.
How is there, and like the fence looks like they put it up. Like,
everybody in the crowd is wearing ski masks, and the dudes fighting are just like they're kicking each other in the face. Like I'm talking violent as hell.
The people watching are grabbing the fence and like shaking it.
There's obviously no like sanctioning body and stuff.
Oh,
right?
fuck.
No, I'm pretty sure it's like I don't know who runs it. I'm not going to talk on it.
To sanction something, there would have to be rules.
Well, that's where I was.
You know what I mean?
There's no rounds, no rules. So it's like brutal. And so I've been watching that a little bit. And I think
is this on?
You have to stream it. You can go to their Instagram.
Oh, it's on. Okay.
Yeah, and stream it. But they've got like 900,000 subscribers. They get like 1 million+ views. So to get it in, sponsor it, it's not cheap.
Yeah.
But it's internationally known. It's pretty badass. And to me, I love it because I'm just like, dude, this is some freak shit. Like, I love the bare knuckle boxing. I do that.
Right.
But this is like a whole nother level. They're stomping each other in the face. And these aren't just street fighters. These are like trained fighters. These dudes are animals.
That's why I, again, don't fully understand why you don't watch fighting.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't watch a lot of stuff.
Is it not real enough for you? Like boxing is just too soft for you?
I don't know, man.
There's not that
good cards. I mean,
you guys aren't going to believe this, but we're at 30 minutes.
That's crazy.
I would believe it.
Time flies when you're partying.
Time flies.
Yeah. We got like an hour to go, so we're good. All right, well, so ad read. We're doing an ad. I'm gonna let my man Tyler take off of this. Talk about ambition. You know what? You're here.
So
we'll say you're sponsoring this show.
One of the great sponsors of today's show is Ambition Threads. Are you somewhat of an athlete? Do you wake up in the morning and go to the gym and then you leave the gym and go straight to the office. And then when you get done at the office, you might work on your side hustle. Yes. You might go to an event. You might network. You might ask yourself, wow, I'm doing a lot.
It's all valid points.
Can I do more? Yes, because you're an athlete. You're an athlete of life. And that's what Ambition Threats is all about. So when you're chasing the best version of yourself, be ambitious.
You know, and the great thing is, and I love this. I love this because, you know, so we both have apparel companies. We're both in Murfreesboro.
Right.
But there's never this animosity.
I disagree completely.
I'm never, yeah. I mean, you know, in private, I'm like, fuck Ambition. I'm going to be better.
I have Relentless Pursuit toilet paper. I'm just kidding. I don't.
You're a dick.
That would be funny, but I don't.
I should Ambition. No, the funny thing is, though, we're never just, I mean, I think it's natural for people to always want to do their best. And whatever they build, they want it to be the best. That's just natural. You know, anybody that plays sports, they're not like, I want to be on the same playing field as this person. No, they want to be better.
Yeah, every time.
But it's never, I'm never like, oh, man, fuck Ambition. I want to be above Ambition. Like, it's pretty cool that we have a very mutual relationship, a good friendship, and we just support the hell out of each other.
I agree. I think the best part about it is we have the same mentality of like, I hope that you're better than me, just like vice versa.
Yeah.
Because I know at the end of the day, like you're going to put in just as many hours, if not more, than I am every single day.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
If
you end up getting more sales, okay, you know, I guess I should have worked harder.
Ain't that the truth?
You know, I think there's plenty to go around, man.
Yep. So there's our ad.
T-shirts are rad.
And, yeah, I'll go ahead and give y'all Relentless Pursuit. All right, since we're at it.
Hey, are you pursuing something?
Are you pursuing something relentlessly? Is greatness your only option? Because Relentless Pursuit is the one for you. No, but, you know, obviously this is the Relentless Pursuit podcast, and that's what it's all about, is pushing others to achieve only greatness in every aspect of their lives. You know, life is short, and we need to go all out. No matter what our avenue is, we've got to pick it and go. And, you know, don't start tomorrow. Don't start the next day. Start yesterday.
Whew.
Start yesterday.
That needs to be a tee.
I got a Start Yesterday shirt.
Do you?
Yeah.
Am I a shitty fan?
It's the maroon shirt. It says Start Yesterday on the back.
It does not.
It does, dude.
It says Lux. What is that?
Lux Matter. Wait, what?
Is it Latin?
Oh, Lux in Tenebrae.
Yeah. That's the maroon shirt.
No, that's like a sand colored shirt, and I got it in black as well.
Maybe I'm colorblind.
Yeah, light and darkness. But there's so many ways to go with Relentless Pursuit, you know. I mean, we are pushing a positive message. So being the light in the darkness in this world, like we talked about at the beginning, there's so much chaos going on.
It's crazy.
And everybody's just like, fuck, what do I do? Oh, impending doom. And it's just like, man, be the light. That's my goal. I wake up every day and I was like, I just want to be positivity for this dark world we're in.
I 100% agree. I have to ask you this. Let's get.
We're still in the ad read.
Oh shit.
I'm trying to. Where can they find your clothes? I love everything you're saying, but where can they find?
Dude, this is
apparently our first time.
Yeah.
No, it's not even the Jim Beam. I call it Jim Beam.
Jim Beam. I like it with an N.
You know.
Beam. Yeah, Beam.
So if you're looking for all things Ambition Threads, it's at Ambition Threads Co. on Instagram, ambitionthreads.com. And I think that's all we have right now. But yeah, working on a lot of great things. We have a launch coming August 19th.
I think, which is the exact same date as my next launch.
Right.
Yeah, I'm doing a new launch next Saturday at the Nashville Fit Show. Go check it out. We're going to have a good deal going on for everybody that shows up to this show. So definitely stop by the booth. But
only awkward thing about that is this will come out after that.
Oh, show. It will. So don't still go to the show.
Hopefully you guys grab.
Hopefully y'all went and bought some shit. Damn it, man. I just thought about that.
That's amazing. Hopefully you guys got a great deal, because let me tell you, that stuff's awesome. It's probably sold out.
Check out relentlesspursuitlifestyle.com. We're going to get back to the pod now.
Yep, and Relentless_Pursuit on Instagram, and Relentless_Pursuit_HQ on Instagram as well for everything going on in the headquarters.
He had a killer podcast, and he was like, dude, we got to do a pod. I was like,
I was on his podcast too, yeah.
I was like, dude, I love talking.
I think you were on it twice, but...
Oh, so you didn't invite me twice? Whatever, dude.
No, I did invite you twice, actually.
Whatever, dude.
But no,
I was with you and your boy.
Dakota?
Remember? No. Austin?
Probably Thomas.
No, it was Austin.
Austin. Where at?
Remember in the back of Nutrition?
Oh, you talking about who we did that with? I'll Damn it.
He just had a kid at that time, or was having a kid at the time. I think his name was Austin.
He was at the podcast with us. His name.
Yeah, it was in the back of that nutrition.
No, I remember
factory.
the podcast, but I'm trying to think. I didn't know there was another person with us. Shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's embarrassing.
No, it's not. But it was sick.
But we did do a podcast together, and it was the most bare bones thing you could ever imagine.
Oh man, awesome.
I think one of us was sitting on like a chair that like didn't.
No, you were sitting on
didn't
four.
Decline,
he was sitting on 4 cases of bangs.
Okay, that's what it was. But one of us was like up here,
yeah,
and the other one was like here,
yeah.
And then on top of that, that was like one of the first podcasts I ever did. So the whole cross directional thing wasn't going on. We were sitting right next to each other.
Yeah.
So we're doing.
It was sick.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't even remember which.
It's funny to see how things transform.
I love it,
dude.
I reflect on that all the time.
All the time,
bro. I have to say this. And it's funny, I was thinking about this earlier. On the first, when we did the second comeback episode, the first one of the new round of podcasts, I was like, after this, you guys won't have to deal with me. And like slowly but surely, I've added my own mic, my own camera. I've taken over. But
welcome back to the Logan Hyder Show.
Yeah, right.
Sponsored by Relentless Pursuit.
Exactly.
Here's where I wanted to go with this.
I forgot what I was going to say, so go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go for it. All right.
I kind of figured that.
Okay.
So
let's get on it. Let's give people some good shit.
When you snap back.
Oh, I remember.
Go ahead.
I remember. So I texted Joe the other day about this, but the first video post ever posted on Relentless Pursuit's main page is a clip from the Area 83, not Cinema 83. This is Cinema 83. The Area 83, my YouTube channel.
I remember that.
The podcast that we did together. We're sitting at my table in this little apartment in freaking Donaldson with a single clip-on mic sitting on the table in between us, and that's what I use for both of our audio.
Let's go.
And that's the first video post.
And
on the
here's the
RP
coolest
page.
part: you have like rotating arms now. You have like 4.
I mean, we're fucking crushing it.
Crazy. I feel like I'm in Brentwood.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like the fact when we did the comeback episode, I said that too. But like to look around, it's like, dude, I can't even believe we're doing this. When you think about that, putting a fucking, it looks ridiculous,
That's
honestly,
wild.
but it's cool though.
No, I disagree. I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
It just because at the end of the day, you get to reflect on that.
Yeah.
You know, it's one thing to come jump right into it in the space.
Right.
But then when you see where you began and you look at like the progression, you know, like I had the home gym that I was started recording in.
Dude.
And then I went back to like one episode in my living room. That was a fucking failure. I mean, it was a pretty decent podcast.
Joe
it's funny.
is not a fan of that episode.
I don't know why.
I don't know why
it was
either.
smooth.
My German Shepherd, man. I love her to death.
Dude,
you
better watch your mouth. You hear me?
But she was acting a damn fool.
She was a problem. She was a problem.
She was a problem. Yeah.
She was.
Trying to knock cameras over. She's barking. Like it was, and she was acting out. She doesn't even act that bad when it's just me and her, but we started recording the podcast and shit hit the fan.
She was just like, okay, let's go.
I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, dog? And I love her to death, man. She's a dog. And I realized your living room at home probably isn't the spot for a podcast, especially when you got a big German Shepherd. So we did that one episode, and then I was like, man, we got to figure something else out. And here we are, you know. And it's crazy. I watched that. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying on a side note, I did last week I did a puppy podcast with Trent Denson, who does.
That's my fucking boy.
Dude, legend. Shout out TD.
Yeah, shout out Trent. That's my guy.
No idea who this.
So his dog is my dog's daughter. And I was doing.
What?
I have a mini poodle, and she's a mini Aussie doodle. Because she was, whatever.
An Aussie doodle dude the best.
Yeah. I interviewed Danny D for her podcast and was like, I want to stick around. Let's do the STP podcast. And he was like, dude, bring Murphy as my dog. And he was like, and I'll bring Cammy, who's his dog. And he was like, we'll just have a puppy podcast.
Nice.
Bro, we sat there, like literally, they started the podcast sitting in the chair. Murphy's sitting in the chair. At the end of the podcast, he and I were dead eyes talking like this, and Murphy just inched in and put his face right here next to me. It was like, all right, dude, I'm ready.
That's funny. That's funny as hell. I've acquired 2 more animals. Yeah, I had Kona, and then Lydia moved in, and
that was a wild way to say that, by the way.
Oh shit! I just go.
I have acquired 2 more animals.
Yes, well that like I just
did you finally get a parakeet?
No, I hate birds. I used to live with some kind of parrot. I don't know what kind it was. So my uncle down in Florida, he's in this MC, and I moved in with him for like the last year and a half. I was in the military. We lived out on the beach, and he had this fucking bird named Tika. And I'll tell you, I hate birds. Like I will never. If my kids are like, Dad, please, no, I'm not doing it. This motherfucker He used to piss me off so bad. And I'd get in from like a 10-hour shift, 12-hour shift at work, right? And the first thing I want to do when I got home was just take a shit. That was like my ritual. You know, I get home, I just want to sit on the toilet.
Hey, we can all understand that.
Well, yeah. So Dave's old lady.
Not to interrupt.
She'd be like,
I am not an afternooner.
No, I was in the bad mood.
I'm a first thinger for sure.
Yeah, same.
First thinger.
Morning guy.
You knock it out.
Roll.
Take care of business.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
But this bird, I'm telling you, man, it was the worst thing in the world. So his old lady or him, they always call me Joseph because he's like a family friend for a long time. And, well, I call him Uncle Dave, but he's not technically my uncle. He's
right. Just like you're not technically Joseph.
Yeah, exactly. So, but they'd always be like, Joseph, you know, and they needed me or whatever. Well, then this bird caught onto that. So I'd get home, I'd sit on the toilet, and I'd be sitting there, and I'd just hear, Joseph.
Oh, dude, I'd let that thing fly.
Oh, I'd be like,
from the bird?
I'd be like, Tika, shut the fuck up.
From the bird?
Oh, yeah. I'd be
and
yelling
it was bad
at
enough that you
oh, man. I'd be cussing at it. I mean, that was towards the end of my military career, and I was so anxious and ready to get out. So I was already like,
it was definitely Tika's fault that you were still in the military.
Tika rubbed, yeah. It's like Tika, it's all you. Like, why did I sign for 6 years?
I told you to submit that paperwork last week, you bitch.
You're just gonna stay here forever, aren't you?
Right, dude. Tika, I used to hate it, man. I'd go down there and I'd be in his cage and I'd be like, "Fuck you," like I hate you.
Oh man, you were in there.
Bro, you're telling me you used to go eye to eye with a bird?
Yes, but while it was in his cage, because if it was out of his cage, it would just like, that shit was intimidating.
Knock you out.
I wasn't trying to get pecked or clawed or whatever it does.
I just think it's hilarious. He clarified while it was in the cage. No, yeah, I think that's pretty weird too.
I actually,
whether it was in the cage or not.
This thing drove me nuts.
98% of the people that I talk smack to are for sure far away from me, so I get that completely. I don't like to get them too close because they'll, you know.
Yeah,
and I'm like, man, I'm out.
No, thanks.
You know? Yeah, I'm small.
But anyway, so you had something you wanted to come back with.
So we were talking off mic, and then we approached back on mic about just like humble beginnings and like talking about like you had a collar microphone. I was going through way old designs the other day about like the young buck I was designing stuff, but that kind of wanted to transition into like, what's the goal? Like, what's the end of RP? Like, not end.
You flip it on.
Not end. I'm a natural interview / talker.
Yeah.
So I'm just very inquirious.
So,
is that a right word?
I don't think so.
You're supposed to know.
We're gonna run with it. We're gonna run with it.
You're an Aquarius?
You're an Aquarius.
We'll go with it.
I'm a broccoli, and I know the moon's an asparagus. Yeah. And so I'm doing,
But it's got
my mood's weird.
Yeah, on the left moon, or is it
last time though? You and Will were really getting into that stuff.
Oh yeah, we were. But so honestly, it's funny you asked me that. So I've had this saying I always say, just getting started. And I'm actually going to have a shirt that says that because I say it so much. Because people are like, man, as I had the grand opening for the HQ this past weekend, and people are like, man, congratulations. I'm like, yo, just getting started.
Literally started today.
But a couple of years ago, I was at a certain point in my life, and people are like, you're crushing it. Right. Just getting started. It's like this. It seems to be a common theme for my life, so I want to make a shirt that says that. And honestly, by telling myself that, it's almost like a psychological thing. If I say, hey, I'm just getting started, then it's always going to be progression. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course.
So, I like to visualize things. It's like with this place.
Yeah.
Like when I walked in here, there was an empty shell, and I decided to pull the trigger on it being my own. I visualized what I wanted to look like. And here we are, and it looks exactly how I imagined it.
Sick.
And so it's really fucking cool. So I try to visualize people maybe that are way ahead of me. You got places, you got like On It and First Form. Mm-hmm. They got these massive headquarters, gyms, they record there. They do all these things. It's the headquarters idea. And I love the idea of headquarters, just having everything under one roof.
Right.
Rob Dyrdek, we talked about him, the Fantasy Factory. Mm-hmm. I look at that warehouse across the street, Woods. It's massive. I mean, that's what I picture being in one day.
Right.
Running apparel out of it and having a gym and having all this stuff going, recording the podcast out of this building. Just a little bit of everything, but also a space to just do more of what we want. Have fun and enjoy it and make it this very free space to where we can just like raise hell and do relentless pursuit shit, you know, and live life.
I love that.
And that's why Rob Dyrdek has just always been an inspiration, because he was able to create something like that to where he was working, but he's also just enjoying the shit out of it. So,
that dude's my spirit animal, but I the research and everything that's been just who he is and how he did that and what he integrated. And I mean, that's the goal.
I think it's the goal, but so there's no like end. I just keep telling myself every step that I'm just getting started.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and that's the thing. And then I have like a visualization of where I want to be. And then that visualization grows. So it just becomes more grand.
I didn't want it to sound like what's the end.
Because there's never an end.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
I agree with that completely.
But that's the thing with...
That's my neighbor, Greg. He's rad.
Greg, come on in.
Yeah, for real. That's the thing with like the RP logo, right? It's like you hunt, eat, repeat.
Yep.
It's like
so the Ouroboros, it's infinite, right? So that pursuit never ends. Right. So hunt, eat, repeat. I hunt down the goal. I take it in. I repeat that cycle.
Right.
And it just grows and grows. So, you know, it's a great question, but like in all honesty, there's no end game. There's no end visualization. It just keeps evolving. And that's the beauty in it. But at the end of the day, the main goal is just to impact as many people as I can. So, and I want that number to grow. Yeah. I want to help people. I want this to be something positive. I want it to be a light in the darkness. You know, I want people to be inspired. I want people to push their limits and do the best they can in life. Yeah. Maybe you don't want to be an entrepreneur, but maybe you become a bodybuilder, or you decide to do some kind of sport, or you hit whatever weight you want to in the gym, or whatever the fucking goal is, you're going to be great at it. Right. So that's what it's all about to me.
I love that. Reason I asked that question, and I have another question on top of that one. I'm just
Christ. Well, welcome to the.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Not. But I've been away from podcasting so long, I forget how much that I love it. My second question, where I was going with that was I deeply when I found my passion when I first started Ambition, my passion is like understanding people and really understanding like what it takes to be a master at something. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a book, 10,000 Hours, Malcolm Gladwell.
Outliers.
And it's like, or Outliers, thank you. And it's basically like putting in 10,000 hours to become a master at something. And I genuinely love understanding what makes people tick. Like, I just love people. I'm a big people guy.
Exactly.
So that's what brought that question up. But the second question is, and honestly, I would ask you as well, Logan, would be, are you a it's like my favorite question to ask on the old podcast. But it's basically like, if you look at your life as a program, so like from the moment you wake up to the time you go to bed, even your sleep regimen, like everything that you do is a program. What drives your program? Do you love to win or do you hate to lose? Like
I know mine for sure.
Okay, go for it.
I definitely hate to lose.
Okay.
And I would say that I would go with that because I don't really give myself a lot of credit for the wins. You know what I mean? But it's like you obsess over the losses. And I think if you're that way, then you're then that's more of your motivation is like not to lose. And I mean, obviously this is the format to do it, but I think that there's a lot that goes into that. You know, both sides, either one you are.
Yeah.
You know, because you could be obsessed with winning and win on a big scale. You could be obsessed with fighting, like not wanting to lose, and also be successful on a big scale. It's a different motivation, but it's kind of the same goal.
Yeah,
that's what I would say, at least, because but that's also how my mind works. I just get real bad about obsessing over stuff, and I'll spend a ton of time thinking about some minor thing, loss, whereas I could sign a huge contract, you know, get a new client, whatever. And it's like, well, yeah, I'm supposed to do that.
Yeah, right.
But if something goes badly, it's like, well, I fucked that up.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That for me, that's what I would
say. Makes sense. What you got?
You know, I want to be like, the easiest way to be like both, you know, because that's
a common answer.
I do love the win, you know.
That's a common answer.
Victory is always very.
But the question is not what you.
Yeah, it's one or the other.
Because nobody likes to lose and everybody likes to win.
Yeah, and it's hard for me, though, because I think of things pretty in depth.
Right. So the question in the context of is the first thing when you wake up in the morning, I got to do this because.
Because my main, I've got to succeed. I tell myself that every day, like I got to fucking succeed. But, I'll go back to the lose thing. I'm saying I hate to lose. Yes, I don't like to lose, but I also appreciate when I lose because I learned so much from losing. And I've lost a lot in my life.
Of course.
I've had so many moments in my life to where it's felt like a fucking substantial loss and it's hit so much. But those are my biggest growing points.
Right.
So I would say, considering that, at least right now, I love to win because losing is growing.
But
the thing is, and also take the way I look at it is when I do lose, I grow from that, and that's a fucking win in itself.
That's what I was about to say.
So I'm going to say I love to win because, yes, losing sucks, but that's where growth comes from, and I look at that as a victory in itself. So I love winning, bitch.
Yeah. I like that.
All right, sorry for the aggression. I just got super amped up.
That's okay.
You're not. I didn't mean that, but
so I am.
No, but you get what I'm saying. That's
so for the longest,
best way I could put it.
For the longest time, I always said that I was both because
fidgety.
I genuinely love winning.
Yes.
There are coming from I raced motocross. I did all these things in that sport, and I was not a standout by any means. I did okay. But those wins were great. I can vividly remember winning some. But also at the same time, I can count on every single finger, toe, arm, leg, you name it, losing. Because it hurts.
Yes.
It hurts.
And I think when I was younger, losing, I hated to lose more. Because when I was a younger kid, I didn't really learn from it as much as I do nowadays.
Right.
But over the past couple of years, I've realized those losses have been monumental in my growth. And I wouldn't be where I am today without those fucking losses.
That's where I was kind of going with it was, you look back on it and go, man, that was the hardest thing. Amateur Nationals was 2013. It was the best week of my life.
Yeah.
I was 1 point away from getting on the podium. 1 point.
Fucking point.
And I was going into the second to last turn behind the guy that I needed to beat and fell in the turn.
Yeah.
So I had him. He was right in my sights.
Yeah.
I can play that moment back in my head. I can smell the smells, taste the tastes, all of it. So it sticks with you.
So you're saying love to win or hate to lose. What is yours?
Oh, I hate losing.
Yeah.
But I put that in the forefront of my brain. Mm-hmm. I hate losing so much that I attract it. Yeah. And I attract it in a positive light. This is going to sound crazy, but I attract it so much in a positive light that when I do lose, I learn so much from the loss that it's exactly like you're saying. It's an instant win. Yeah. And I'm all right, on to the next one.
And that's the thing. If you win every time, then what the fuck do you learn? Well, how do you grow? If you win, if you're so used to winning,
right,
and say you win your whole life and you lose once,
you
might not recover from it.
You'll never recover from it.
Exactly. Ever. So that's the thing. You got to embrace both. And like I said, so I don't know. That's an interesting question, man.
I love that question because it brings the best out of you.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna. It brought up something. You right over there, bro?
Yeah, I was about to sneeze.
Oh shit!
That hit me. Got in the corner of my eye.
I lost it, dude.
Jeez, messed up the sneeze. I enjoy that question because I ask, honestly, an embarrassing amount of people.
So I've been trying to think on we're back into the podcast, right? I've been thinking on a question to ask people that forces people
I like the
to.
one that you have already.
What? What is your relentless pursuit?
What's your pursuit? What are you being relentless about?
Yeah, and I love that too. I do love that.
That's a tie-in. Yeah, but I know what you're saying because I
feel like I can force more, because some of these questions you ask, it's just holy shit, I really got to analyze right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the best though. That's the best though. Whenever you got to sit there for a second and
you'll find that out. My advice to you for that. You'll find that out the more people that you talk to.
Exactly. And I think
you want to learn about.
We just get better at this, I've got you tonight. I've got Roy Mangrum with Barbell Voodoo. Yeah, we're recording next Friday.
Are you?
Yeah.
The man,
dude, yeah. Roy is he's a legend.
Dude, everybody says he's legit.
Bro, you know what kills me about Roy? Roy, I love you to death, but this is a positive thing. What kills me about Roy is that Roy acts like
I don't even know what he looks like.
He doesn't. He gets
He don't have a personal social media, does he?
No, he doesn't.
If you're listening to this, please do not get mad at me for saying this, but like
he'll see you next Friday.
He really doesn't like to be on camera, and
no,
and it sucks because he's so good on camera,
dude. He's
so good on camera.
Yeah, I don't even know this guy. I don't even know how to draw a picture of him.
We did a video. The expo was my client, so I was doing all their stuff beforehand, right? And we did a story video, and like he damn near forced me to cut his part out.
Yeah,
and again, I'm only talking about this.
He's about to be on camera next week.
He's a legend.
From a positive standpoint, because I was like, dude, you did so good. I was like, please don't make me do this.
I interviewed him because, it's
which is
funny.
understandable for the record. Like a lot of people don't like to be on camera. And I tell people like, one thing, and this is like random, I'll throw this in here real quick, is that people get real nervous about being on camera. I still do. Not in this format because it's so fucking awesome, but in general, if I were to, that's why I haven't created content for Cinema 83, even though I tell everybody else to create content, teaching people stuff. Right. But the point being is that I totally get where they're coming from, because it feels like the reason why is like biologically your body reacts to it like it's public speaking, because you know people are going to see it.
Yeah.
So a lot of, at least whenever I was growing up, I always heard that public speaking was one of people's number one fears.
100%.
And so whenever you sit down to do a video, like, people are going to see it, and the bigger the brand you have, the more people are going to see it.
100%.
And so you get those nerves like you're about to do a speech or something. So a lot of times I have to tell people, like, it's just me and you in the room. Just relax. And again, that's random, but.
Dude, Roy, I did the first podcast. He was on, like, the first wave. Is when we first did yours.
Yeah.
Just listening to his story and, like, who Roy is, he's, like, first of all, I call him a legend. He when I first met him, he was also, obviously he owns Barbell Voodoo, the clothing brand.
Which is killing it.
Dude, I had no idea, like, when I went to their booth at the expo, I was like, dude, their shit is so hard. I even had to ask them, I was like, how do you use some of this stuff?
Dude, it's crazy.
And they were like,
it's an artist.
I'm
looking forward to meet him. I've honestly never met the guy. I know
he gave me so much praise. He was like, dude, listen, what you're doing, like, just keep doing what you're doing. Like,
yeah, it was pretty.
He will tell you the same thing, and like, obviously it's true, because I would tell you, Logan tells you all that, but like, he was so just genuinely nice.
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, I just like, I
hope I click with him, man. I think we'll click.
Oh, he's the
man.
He's the man.
Yeah,
he's a dude, man.
He shared the comeback episode. You know that little clip I was talking about depression being real, and he shared it to the Barbell Voodoo page.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, I loved it. And I was like, dude, let me know if you ever want to be on there. He's like, I'd love to. When can we? And I was like, okay. And we scheduled next Friday. And he's like, man, we should have gotten together sooner.
Yeah.
And I was like, honestly, I have no idea who you are. I know Barbell Voodoo. And like, dude, here's my thing though, is I actually stay,
you don't mean it like that.
No.
I get where you're coming from.
Well, I also stay kind of a hermit, and something I've got to force myself to do to grow is get out to different businesses and meet people. Like, I'm going to go meet the Bora Built guys and just some local businesses, because I may seem pretty extroverted.
Are you? I'm just kidding.
But I also like my alone time. I like to, just to like keep with my small little circle and stay there. But I know that's not going to help me grow.
Dude, you are such. I'm about to do it. I'm about to be the guy.
He's going in.
You are such a good person. If you would channel your good personisms, I don't know what that is. I just made up a word. If you would channel that into inquiring about people, you'd be the best interviewer on this side of the
How so? So give me an example.
Okay, I will tell you, because you and I relate on this level.
Yeah.
I love people.
Yeah.
Like, we were talking off mic about, man, some people suck. Some people do suck.
They do.
But we still love them.
Yes.
Like, I still love, like, I'm fascinated with, like, this.
Because a lot of people are just lost.
Well, that's where I was going with that. Was like, I'm fascinated with, like, drug addicts and serial killers and what makes them tick, just as much as I am with an entrepreneur.
I've been an addict.
Well, because there are things that seem impossible that they still get the job done. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
With that, and wanting to understand people more, you will naturally become someone who just wants to learn more. Like, Whoa.
I was just going to say, one of the most important things about doing a podcast, I think, and I've told you about this before, and I was talking to Sonny the other day whenever he was here. Shout out Sonny and Dana, too, Protein Snack Show.
I just went dark. I can't hear you.
You can't hear me at all?
Not at all. Not even.
Everybody hold on one second.
I can't even hear me. I mean, we could talk about business.
We could. No. So what's going on with you? Like, what's going on with ambition? You know, what's the next step? What's the long-term goal for that? I'm curious. Just, I don't know where y'all are at right now with things. And so I'm curious to see.
So, I mean, we took a step back. We had to rebuild, man. I went through.
How so?
I just went through a crazy phase of life. I had a bad business deal go pretty sour. And really,
I know how that goes.
I was tempted to just quit and fold up shop and
with ambition,
just everything, man.
No shit.
Yeah, man.
Fuck.
I was with a family, or what I thought it was a family, and just one day, literally one day, it switched. Like,
it's hard finding those people, man.
It is what it is. I mean, I was young, man. I'm young now, but like, I've always been young and hungry and all this stuff, and I was just young and naive, and I have nothing but great things to say about my past and all that stuff. Like, I think it's sick. But I had to really reevaluate and understand who I was as a man. Yeah. And like grow as a man, because I wasn't a man at the time. You end up wanting to please everyone so much that you end up in like just not
getting yourself in a hole.
Well, you just stand for nothing.
Fuck. Like, I've been there. Yeah.
You try to do
you lose yourself in order to please others.
Yeah. And now, you know, to make a long story short, I was depressed. I was drinking a lot.
When was this?
I was just about to say that.
This was probably a year ago, maybe.
Oh, shit.
Year and a half ago.
So this is in between the time that we did the last podcast with Tylor.
Roughly, yeah.
Somewhere around that, yeah. Roughly, yeah. Dude, that's crazy.
I was just like...
I didn't know that.
Yeah, super depressed.
You're one of those people that keep it to yourself?
Well, it's not really that, but like it's not my job to tell you my woes, because it would rub off on you.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather be your hype man and me figure it out. And I did. I mean, it wasn't on my own by any means.
Well, it's funny you say that because... And not funny, but you know what I'm saying.
No, it is
you fuck your
depressed. Hey, Tylor,
you're a fucking bitch.
Yeah. Dude, cry. No,
cry.
No, I know what you mean.
No, but it's interesting you say that, because you don't want to put it on other people.
Yeah.
And I kind of went through that, especially at the beginning of this year.
We just talked about this.
Yeah, the end of last year, beginning of this year, like I was in that fucking spot.
Right.
And I didn't talk about it a lot. I just told everybody I was good, you know. And I had a couple close friends that I was just like, man, I just got to work on shit.
Right.
But for the most part, I was just trying to figure it the fuck out on my own.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to put my issues on anybody else.
Right.
And, of course, you know, I had some people force me to kind of like speak and, you know, figure it all out. But I don't know. Sometimes it just seems easier just to bottle it in, you know.
It wasn't necessarily easier, because I resulted to... you know, drinking a little bit too much, and
I mean,
things that I shouldn't have done.
I ate sushi 4 days a week.
Well,
So I spent way too much on sushi, and I drank a lot of wine.
Yeah,
a lot of edibles and wine, but I didn't. Right. That's where I got like with the wine thing. It turned into like a bottle at night kind of deal, you know.
Right, and that's where
it's easy to drink a bottle of wine, dude.
Can I ask you a question? So did you feel like, because of like what you stand for and what people know you for, that you couldn't talk to people because of that? Because it wouldn't.
That's a great question. He's good.
Because your message is so positive, and you started this the podcast, right, talking about how you're an optimist, and like everything that I know about you is like this guy who nothing could ever phase, and that's the whole message of your brand, whole thing.
Yeah.
So did you ever think like, well, if I come out and talk about the things I'm struggling with, that it'll hurt my brand, like you care about the money side to it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I've told people that I stand for. So if I'm dealing with something, and again, the reason I'm bringing that up is because we talked about this in depth.
But it helps. So I'm not trying to overstep his question for you, but I want to just go ahead and touch on this. So what I've learned though, it's like Logan said. It's like, dude, people see you and they're like, this big tattooed, like whatever, this guy that looks how you do, and you got your girl and you know, this and that going on in your life. That's what people see, all of this stuff from the outside. So to think that you're going through these things, these anxiety issues and depressions and all this fucked up stuff that everybody else goes through is almost like, whoa, like this guy deals with that too?
Right. Oh.
So I learned that there's power in sharing those things. There's power in being vulnerable. And there's power in also like going through the same fucking things.
Yeah, of course.
I had someone comment on the TikTok video being like, oh, depression's made up. It's all just to create a weak society. Oh yeah. Someone's like, this just creates weak mindsets and weak society. And I'm like, dude, I'm not here to toot my own horn, but I feel like I'm a pretty tough motherfucker. No, but I still go through shit. You know what I'm saying?
What is make-believe is the fact that nobody is doing.
No, I think what is weak is not facing these things and acknowledging them and not working on them.
Acknowledging them makes you stronger because you address the problem and find a solution.
What's weak is letting it control you.
Exactly.
Over time, and that's weakness. But if you're like, holy shit, I'm facing this issue. I'm facing a lot of anxiety or depression. Like, this is taking me down. I need to fucking face it and fix it.
Right.
That's strength.
To both of those, no. But I wouldn't say no. Man, that's a great question. I feel
like I'm doing, like, adjusting this mic good, but
I keep messing. I'm a fidgeter.
I guess I suck with it.
Shout out to TD for dealing with my fidgetedness. No, I don't think it was that. I think because ultimately, at the end of the day, one thing that I didn't know about myself at that time was that I knew, like, I'm naturally a positive person, so I knew, regardless of the moment of weakness that I would share, that it wouldn't last long. And it didn't last long. Like, man, I've known people being depressed for years, so I was like, I just went through a spell of my life to where it was just not as good as I thought it was going to be.
Well, but we talked about that real quick. So we talked about that person. I'm not going to bring any names in this situation, but I'm throwing shade slightly. No, definitely throwing shade. But that person that took all the money from me and just bailed and said anything. Anyways, they got to live with that. But they told me at one point, they're like, Joe, and this was like beginning of this year. They're like, you've lost people. Something's wrong. Like, people are asking about the brand.
Dude, I was wondering because you've mentioned that a couple times.
And it pissed me off so bad.
That the other day. I was like, I wonder who said that to him because you mentioned that a couple times.
So I was telling my friend this other weekend, Sunday at the Grand Open, and I was like, motherfuckers act like I'm not allowed to go through shit. Because I have such a positive mindset, a positive brand, that God forbid I go through a tough time in my fucking life. Right. And I need to work through it and cope with it how I do. God forbid I'm human, man, and I just fucking work on things the way I need to.
Right.
Oh, and I just push everybody away apparently because I'm like going through a tough time. Man, that's so selfish of people to say. And honestly, it's untrue because the people that matter are still there. If 100%. Whoever I pushed away, which I really don't know, is gone, fine. Because the people that mattered are there regardless. So I don't know.
I think it is like people handle things differently. Man.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it was, and to wrap it all in, like, it wasn't my job to tell people I was in the trenches. Yeah. Right. Like, it was not my job to say, man, and I preface it a lot. Like, life is hard. And I say it often. Like, life's crazy, man. Like, in fighting terms, you're up against Conor McGregor every moment of every day. It's not my job to tell you how hard life is. So when I'm going through it, it's not my job to be like, man, I'm just depressed and this, because my job is to be a light.
Yeah.
It's the same thing we've talked about, all the time.
I agree.
My job is not to say, look, my life is tough, so I'm going to project it on you or project it. So it wasn't necessarily like it would hurt me or hurt my brand. It was more or less like, I just don't want to, there's so much going on. I don't want to be the extra, cherry on top for someone to, go ahead and eat cake when they've been on a diet for 6 months.
Now, I will say, the way I combated that was with, because I thought the exact same thing.
Right.
But I was like, you know what? Why don't I give people the truth? Well, but then tell them how I'm going to fucking work on it. Well,
That's what I was going to go to. And just to be clear, I don't think there was anything wrong about you not talking about it.
No, I know that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it surprises me, and I'm like, holy shit, okay.
No, I know that.
Right. And I don't think that's what he's trying to say either. I think that, and I don't think that's what you think we're trying to say, but to be clear, that's not what I mean by that. The only thing that I would say is, you're an inspiration to me.
Thank you, man.
You know what I mean?
Appreciate that. Same here.
I know that Joe obviously fucks with you heavy because you're here twice, and you're an inspiration to him. You're an inspiration to a lot of people, and the brand that you put together is an inspiration to a lot of people. And you were one of the businesses that was starting whenever I started, right? And you're still here, right? And so, the point is that I think you're a tastemaker of the community. I think that you're an important person in the community. I think people look at you, they look at you in a lot of the same ways as they look at Joe, as far as whenever Joe sits down and has a podcast and he talks about things that he's struggling with and that he's dealing with good or bad. I think that people hang on his words because they respect what he says, and I think that you're that way. And so my point is that there's nothing wrong with you dealing with it with yourself and then coming back out whenever you want to. And you definitely should not ever feel, and nobody should feel an obligation because you can post something to social media or because you can make a video about it or whatever. That doesn't mean you have to at all.
Right.
Yeah.
I would just say though about you though, whenever we talk about you dealing with something like that, the utility and the value that I see in it is that people respect you and put you on such, I'm telling you from the outside looking in, people put you on such a pedestal that I think that it would be valuable to let people know too. Like the positive things that I preach those even through going through what I've gone through, whether it be depression or whether it be whatever. And some of the times those lessons that I preach and I put on my shirts and then I talk about on a podcast, I went through that shit, and that's why I learned those things.
Right. Yeah. Well, first, thank you. So I greatly appreciate that.
So it's like on the one hand, I'm not saying like that you did anything wrong, but on the other hand, I also am saying that I think that because of the way that people feel about you and because of the brand that you as a person, not ambition. I mean, with all due respect, fuck ambition. I'm talking about Tylor Gentry. People know what you're about.
Yeah.
People know what you do. People know what you're about. And so whenever you show people like, this is what I'm trying. I'm striving to be positive right now, but I am going through it right now, just like everybody fucking else. And people respect that and love that just as much as the 90% of the time that you're positive.
And I would argue that that's what I'm doing today, with the rebuild and everything like that. Like, that's exactly what's going on. Well, it's more or less telling you what happened to tell you, it was more or less like me taking a step back and being like, okay, like, and to be honest with you, man, like, I was struggling with the identity of what it was, like, it's tough being positive all the time.
Yeah.
Dude, without a fucking doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll go ahead and say it almost gets to the point where, like I said, it seems as if you're not allowed to.
Yeah.
It was like, I'll be straight up with my ex. I would have a bad day. It's like, why are you having a bad day? Why are you in a mood? And like, God forbid, every once in a while I'm in a fucking mood or I'm having a bad day. Like, guess what? I know I'm positive like 90 whatever % of the time, but I'm still human. I'm still going to have bad days. I'm still going to have shit that lets me get down. 100%. Just let me do that. Let me work through it.
We're allowed to feel, man.
But it's like, unfortunately, when you get yourself to a certain point, people will look at you as if like, no, why are you doing that? Like, that's I look at you for help, and it's like, man, but at the end of the day, authenticity is key, and I think it really does help people to see that you do go through the similar things they fucking do on a day-to-day basis, but they look at how you bounce back from that. They look at how you react or act accordingly to those situations, and I think that's what really matters.
Yeah, and
rather than dig yourself in a hole and staying there, they're like, oh, well, look at Tylor or Joe or whoever else. Like, this is what they're doing to take steps to progress from that fucking issue they've been facing or whatever.
Exactly.
So,
I think no, you're exactly right. I think you're portrayed as this huge like positive, just like nothing can go wrong, blah blah blah. It's obviously to everyone else, like everyone who lives life, who is a human.
God, I wish it was that way. I wish nothing went wrong.
No, I
but then at the end of the day, like I don't. Yeah.
No, I don't. Yeah. I think especially the more that I become the man that I'm truly destined to be, the harder it gets, the better it'll be.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
I genuinely think like you're supposed to go through the mud for a really, really, really long time. That's why the 10,000 hour outlier thing is true, is because you have to, like, dude, you got to get stepped on, stolen from. You got to get, like, this happened in order for you to one day look back and go, dang, man, like, this is crazy.
That's the beauty in it. And, let me backtrack on what I said. I wish it would. But I think what I really mean is in a perfect world, it would be that way. But that's not the fucking case. And, I've even had people come to me and they're like, what really gets me about your story is that it's just been like this. Yeah. It's been ups and downs, but you overcome all those obstacles. And that's what it's about, is like up the mountain, in the valley, up the higher mountain, into the valley, up the higher mountain.
Well, and you know what I'm saying? So to your point earlier, you were saying, hating to lose is, but you don't like, you don't necessarily hate to lose. because you know it's going to grow.
Yeah.
What people perceive as a valley is actually a learning point of, okay, instead of saying, oh, woe is me, I'm super depressed, I'm drinking too much. Yeah, you might be drinking too much. Yeah, you might be doing this too much. Yeah, you might be looking at things you shouldn't look at.
Yeah.
But what you could do is say, okay, well, I'm in this really deep valley. What can I learn to get me out of this to make me better to where the next valley is not as deep as this one?
Because to me, being in the valley is just the time to, you know, when you're climbing the mountain, you're looking up. You're headed that way. But when you're in the valley, you don't got the fucking storms. You don't got the winds hitting you. So you're just like, you're in it. And that's the time to kind of look around and observe.
Dude,
and you see that mountain in front of you. You're like, well, I'm working my way closer to that, and I got to climb that next. So what can I gain from this little experience in this valley in order to climb to even greater heights?
There's a moment that people don't allow themselves to get to. It's the potential. They don't allow themselves to reach this potential. But there's a moment of absolute fear. There's a line with absolute fear and absolute bliss. And there's a line that you're supposed to cross that most people don't cross.
Yeah.
There's a fear of missing out. There's a fear of losing. There's a fear of I'll never be good enough. There's all of these fears. But once you get through that valley and trudge through it, it's absolute bliss. Have I ever told you the Will Smith skydive story? Oh man, I'm about to be a TikTok.
I've done some skydiving.
I'm about to be a TikTok
but not
clip.
with Will Smith.
Put TikTok clip me. You got it.
He's talking to me in the future.
Skydiving.
Saying, put this camera on me right now.
Skydiving. I've never skydove.
It's the greatest thing.
Joe wants to.
Amazing. Yeah. I've done it.
Oh, you have?
Oh, you done it?
Yeah, but I'm about to start. I'm about to progress into my license though. I want to get licensed. Okay. That's a huge goal of mine. Has been for years.
Absolutely fucking not.
Wow.
Scared? Oh, me too.
Oh,
same.
1,000%.
Scared of heights.
The best feeling.
Didn't even know I was scared.
I love heights.
So here's the thing. I was scared of heights until halfway through my life, and I was in Toronto at the fucking CNET Tower. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, and they have a fucking floor that's glass.
So and you stand
at the very top, and my hands, bro, start sweating, and then I started noticing after that. And dude, I'm sorry, but I have to say this real quick. We were on vacation a couple years ago. Me and my girlfriend were with her mom. We were on like the 15th floor or something. And I'm not kidding you, bro. Like, this is embarrassing for me to say, but we're just talking about it, so why not? Dude, like, I started getting really freaked out by the balcony. And I don't know how else to say it but that. But, like, I could not even approach the balcony. And I started, like, forcing myself to look down and try to, like, just take the fear and just, like, dude, you're behind a fence. You're okay. Like, let's use this as an opportunity to feel it and then realize you're safe and, like, get over it. I couldn't, bro. I couldn't.
Okay, so I had to back away. I want to blow your mind.
So now that he's going, you said that, and I think I know where you're going because I want to use this. We talk about the skydiving thing. I want to talk about that bridge and that gap because I can relate to it. I'll
let me blow your mind.
I'll give my input afterward.
Let me blow your mind.
Yes.
And then you throw it at me. So skydiving, right? So this is actually a perfect example. So for everybody watching, hopefully you're watching. If you're listening to this, just get in deep vision mode and rock and roll. So me, Joe, Logan, we're sitting here, and you, the listener and or viewer, you're in on this. Hey, let's go skydive tomorrow. Okay, yeah. Everybody's like, all right, sick, let's do it. Me, internally, I'm like, well, I'm not going to be the only dude
no parachute,
not
maybe.
Going. That's another side note. I'm not going to be the only dude not going and not hype about it.
FOMO.
So, all right, I'm going to go. All right, let's do it. 8 a.m., we're going to meet here, 8 a.m. We're going to drive to Shelbyville. We're going to go skydive. You're, staying up all night. You're like, dude, I just committed. What did I just do? I just told all these people, now I have to go, right?
Yeah.
So you get 2 hours of sleep, maybe 3 hours of sleep, right? This is coming from Will Smith, by the way. So this is not me, but I do love the story, and it's very impactful. So you get 2 hours of sleep. You wake up 7 a.m. Your alarm goes off. You're drinking coffee. You're like, dude, I have got to go skydive today. I'm scared of heights. I'm scared of planes. I have no idea what's going on. Absolutely terrified. We show up here. Everybody's hyped up. Joe's like, let's go. Logan's like, all right, dude, I think I'm going to do it. All these other, all right, sick. Let's go. And I'm like, internally, you're like, good God, I cannot wait till this
everybody else
is
amped the fucked up.
Everybody's ready to go. You get there, you get in the plane, you start flying up. You're 10,000, 15,000 feet, whatever it is. You're like, holy shit, I just realized, pardon my cussing, I'm really trying to stop.
I'm not.
But holy crap, I don't think I've ever been 15,000 feet in an airplane before. And right when you think that thought, the instructor slides that door open. And you're like, okay, I've for sure never been this high with the door open before. Like, I'm definitely scared. So you're terrified, and you're literally like...
You haven't been?
No, I've never.
Okay, so continue.
So you're 15,000 feet. The door is open. You're strapped to this dude's back, you know, because that's obviously the first one is you're strapped to somebody. You spent all this time going. There's a red light, a yellow light, and a green light. They go red, and it goes yellow.
They don't do it. It's not like that.
Well, I'm just saying. This is for...
I'm just
for the story.
No, yeah.
Okay, this dude that
shut up.
Yeah, there's a dude strapped. This dude that you're strapped to. He goes, all right, we're gonna go on 3. 1, 2, and he pushes you on 3 because he pushes you on 2 because everybody wants to stop and hold on when it's 3 because you're terrified.
Of course.
So he pushes you out of the plane. You're flying through the air, and through those 4 or 5 seconds of absolute terror, you realize, whoa,
freedom.
I am flying. Everything is fine, and I'm rocking and rolling. Every decision that you make, every risk that you take, everything associated with your life, big, small, medium, whatever it may be, is skydiving. It is why spend so much time in fear when you know if you just spent, it's okay to fear. It's okay to have that level of, man, this makes me nervous, this, that, and the other. But let that fuel the fire to get you to bliss, because it's blissful.
Skydiving is like the ultimate analogy for that.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, because it's like there's no other feeling that matches just throwing yourself out of a fucking plane.
Dude, it's crazy.
It's beautiful. Well, I do it. So I've got a credit in Tullahoma and in like Wimberley, Tennessee. I think I've got $1,000 credit in each of those.
I'm not
skydiving places. Okay, so I'm going to take you along to one of these.
Okay.
Because I've got no shit. I've got 2 tandem jumps booked for both these places. Don't ask me the story. It's annoying.
Don't even waste a credit on me.
But I think I'm going to take you with me, and we're going to do a relentless ambition
Relentlessly ambitious. Listen,
because my girlfriend wants to go, but she said she's waiting for me to get tandem certified, which means I've got to have a lot of fucking jumps.
Yeah.
I want to get actually licensed because a big goal of mine has always been to do the squirrel suit thing. Dude. I want to base jump and do that. I know it's one of the most dangerous things you can.
Yeah, I was telling him last time he talked about that. That is literally one of the most dangerous.
But here's the thing.
People die all the time.
Bro, people die driving 65 miles an hour on the interstate.
No. So here's the thing, though.
That's not the same thing.
Statistically, people die more often riding motorcycles. And I can attest to this. What I'm saying is, I did promise. You're not dead. Yes, and I promise. I promised my mother that I wouldn't get on a motorcycle again. Now, if I got on a motorcycle again, like my mom's not going to stop me from doing it.
Right.
She's always been one to be like, do what makes you happy. My mom's the shit.
Yeah.
You know, if I got my face tattooed tonight, she'd be like, oh, I love you. You know what I'm saying?
Wait. You don't?
No.
Oh, I guess it's just your head.
Yeah, I just got the face. Okay. No, it's beautiful though, so I can't fuck it up. No, I'm just kidding. But
is it? I'm just kidding.
But I told my mom, I was like, listen, I'll stop riding motorcycles. And honestly, I don't have the desire to do so anymore.
Interesting.
I'm just kind of like, I don't really care about riding motorcycles anymore.
You've lived that life.
Yeah, it's not something I aspire to do, but I have to take risks elsewhere. And so skydiving is something I've always had there that I've wanted to pursue. Squirrel suit, even more so. I think it's just the ultimate like fucking rush. But I talk about this all the time. You talked about that whole like when you throw yourself out of the plane, it's just like that mix, you know, and I love it. I remember, I'll never forget when I was 13 going to Mount Zion National Park, and there's this hike called Angel's Landing. And it's very narrow on the way up. You know, you can fall thousands of feet either way. And I'll never forget, like, just laying on the edge of this cliff, like holding my phone over and just feeling that rush. It's so liberating. Dude, I love it, man.
To me, I equate it a lot to motocross. You know,
I was literally about to say you would like this kind of shit because you. I mean,
oh, dude,
I played football. I played football in a box, but like to me, like what y'all do is totally.
I will tell you
totally different
that
level.
Motocross changed my life.
Yeah.
And it changed my life in the perspective of my risk tolerance is really, really high.
Yeah.
So it's like
bare knuckle fighting for me. That's kind of like my trade out.
But I've told you and I have talked about that before.
Yeah.
I would do bare knuckle just to figure it out.
But the fact of the matter is like you get hit once a certain way, bare knuckle fighting, you can be dead or damaged for life.
100%.
That's why.
And that's 100%. But there's also like you
motocross.
You get high from that thought,
dude.
Like the possibility of that gives you a high. You're like, holy fuck!
Dude,
like,
go ahead.
Can I ask you something real quick about that?
Yeah.
So you bare knuckle fight. Whenever we first started talking about you fighting, you were gonna box, and you thought maybe doing a little bit of MMA, but you basically kind of evolved. You were doing bare knuckle at the time, but it kind of seemed like you were going to do regular boxing too. And then the more that you got into it, it seems like you're pretty locked in on the bare knuckle stuff.
Yeah.
And so to take a random kind of right turn on that, like for boxing for me, right? Like I think about my girlfriend.
Yeah.
I think about the kids that I don't have yet.
Yeah.
And I think about like the fact that I played football for 15 years and I've taken more headshots than 90% of the people that are alive. And I think while there's so much utility as a man and as a person to going through adventure and going and facing risk and stuff, I can't help but think about the fact that, like, is it really worth it to not be here 15 years from now? Is it? And so my question to you is, as a man who's about to, as a man who's where he's at in a relationship, do you ever think about that? Because I know you find a lot of benefit and a lot of pros to what boxing brings you and to what combat brings you, right? That's why you do it, because it brings you a lot of good things. But do you ever, is it ever even a consideration?
The dark side of it.
Is there even a consideration of like, maybe I shouldn't do this, because if I do, and like you just said, I get hit the wrong way one time, I could have perfect defense, somebody just catches me with something, and now I'm not there for Lydia anymore. Like, does that cross your mind?
That is a thing. One, she supports me 110%. We were at my boy Brett's my athlete Brett's bare knuckle fight, and we saw like 10 fights, dudes bare knuckle and like bloody as shit. And I was like, fucking right. She's like, I supported it all the way. She knows me and she knows my spirit, and she's going to support that 110%. Either if I fucking go after it or I don't, she's going to respect my decision. And that's one reason I really love her, because she just supports the fuck out of me, because she knows my mindset.
Right.
I think, once you do cheat death, once you do face death, like when I was in my wreck, dude, I faced it. Like I was at the veil, and it's something I can never put into words for people, and I can never help people actually visualize. But every time I think of it, I think about that moment at some point every single fucking day of my life, of when I was just there. And it's hard to so fucking explain, but like being in that moment made me want to live my life to the maximum capacity. And, I go back to the spiritual stuff where I like, hey, this is material, this is just temporary regardless of how long you live. And I look at every year as a blessing. But I also feel like we should live life all out on our terms regardless. And, I think about those things like, yeah, what if I'm not there for them or her? But then there's so many people that just die from very mundane, boring shit. And I'm like, well, at least if I go out, I'm going to go out doing some fucking 100%. Rad-ass, hard-ass shit. And people are going to be like, how'd old Joe go out? Oh, he choked on a peanut butter jelly sandwich. That's pretty lame. Oh, how'd Joe go out? Man, he fucking had the fight of his life, dude.
Squirrel suit diving.
Squirrel suit diving into a cliff, man. But he went out a fucking rock star. And you know what, man? It's like, there's a documentary I watch often, and I think y'all should watch it. It's on Netflix. It's called, it's with...
you don't watch it often enough.
No. I don't know. I'm shooting blanks. It's about this young dude. He died at 25, but he's a free solo climber.
I was going to say free solo.
The Alpinist. The Alpinist. Yes. Have you watched it?
It's amazing.
Dude, every time I watch it, the end of it makes me go into tears.
It's unbelievable.
Because it's about this dude.
I watched the free solo movie, but I didn't.
Young Canadian kid.
Dude, I'm telling you, this documentary trumps free solo. It makes free solo look amateur.
Hold on. It doesn't make it look amateur, because free solo is gnarly.
No, free solo is gnarly. But this dude
The Alpinist is crazy.
This dude's a whole nother fucking level. Yeah, because I love it because he doesn't do it for fame. He doesn't do it for any fucking thing else. He does it for the love of what he's doing. And it's so fucking hardcore. Like, this dude's free soloing rock,
free
ice, and
soloing
snow.
Has got to be... We talking about some of the dangerous...
But I'm talking alpine mountains.
Dude, it's insane.
Dude, he's got hooks climbing snow and ice and shit. Like, it is a whole nother level. And the thing is, at 25, he passes away, and you don't expect it the whole documentary.
Yeah.
It's actually crushing, dude. It crushed me because dude, every time I watch it, I'm just like, fuck.
Was it?
Because it's
spoiler alerts.
Oh, yeah.
But is it from a climb?
Yes. Yeah. He was descending, dude, with ropes.
Yeah.
He wasn't even free soloing. He was with a friend descending with ropes, and he fucking got caught in an avalanche and died. Yeah. It's a spoiler alert.
Nuts.
But it's still worth watching regardless.
It's nuts. It's nuts.
But the thing is, that inspires me all the time because it's somebody that just found something they love so much that they would risk everything. They would risk their entire life. They knew the risk, dude. That is like one of the hardest things to do in the world.
Bro,
so for me to go out and bare knuckle every once in a while, I'll take my fucking chances, dude, because that dude's going all balls to the wall for what he loves. And like, I respect it so much that I think about that when I go into dangerous things. 100%. I'm like, dude, I'm not free soloing. You know, and this dude died doing what he loved at such a young age, and there's an old quote. It's like the gods favor those who die young.
Yeah,
you know, and so, man, it's just like fuck.
Only the good, right,
bro? If I may, all right,
you go for it.
Look,
you're not the guest, so please stop talking.
All right, look, I have the view of heaven that I have. Right, I'm a Christian,
of course.
Been that way for, avidly for, I don't know, probably 5,
I respect
6 years.
that.
Thank you. I don't shun you either.
Oh, thanks.
Bro.
I do what I can.
My guy, if we can knuck on cam. My view of heaven, though, is there's 2 people you meet in heaven. There's an either or. You get to heaven, you look at this person and you have no idea who they are, right? Or excuse me. You get to heaven and you see this person and you're like, man, I have no idea who you are. You didn't take risks. You didn't take the opportunities. You didn't do this, do that, the other. You have no idea who you're facing in heaven.
Yeah.
The other side is you meet the person that you actually are.
Yeah.
That's what that means to me. So it's exactly what, all of these things that we're talking about, taking risks, all of these things is exactly what wakes me up in the morning and makes me keep going. It's exactly that.
I love that.
It's the point of like, you take these risks, you make these moves, you do these things to meet the person that you're supposed to be versus if you don't.
But imagine you live your life being the person you're supposed to be and you're just looking in the mirror by the time you get there.
Yeah.
You're looking at what you could have been, which sucks.
That's heaven.
Or you get there and you're like, dude,
I did it.
I'm you. I made it. I'm the fucking man. And dude, that's the thing though, is like living your life with purpose and just going all out and doing what you love, like regardless of the fucking risks. And I know it sounds crazy and reckless, but god damn, like so many people cut themselves short and they don't take chances because they're worried about everybody else.
It can be less reckless. You can systematize it and make it strategic to where you can be less reckless.
Oh, without a doubt.
100%.
Yes.
Well, that's the thing with like combat sports, right? And like that's my answer to that question. Is like, yeah, you could get caught with a shot, and you could always, to your point, I want to play devil's advocate and also agree with you at the same time.
I don't think you can do that.
The devil's advocate part of me says, dude, bro, that's how my mind works. So I got both sides. But the devil's advocate side of me says, yeah, you could die from something like choking on a peanut butter and jelly, but you chose to put yourself in a squirrel suit. So if you die doing that, it's like, well, you didn't have to do that. So you're increasing your chances by a lot.
Hey, I'd much rather go down. I'd rather go down by something I chose.
Yeah. And again, I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I'm just playing devil's advocate. And that's my thing with boxing is like my metaphor to it is driving, right? Mm. We drive a car every single day. And like you said earlier, people died going 65 miles an hour, whatever. We drive a car every single day. Thousands of people die across this country fucking every single day driving a car. Yeah. It's one of the most dangerous things that you could do. I mean,
I put 45,000 on my truck, almost 50,000 miles on my truck in the past year.
You could say the same thing about driving as you could say about boxing or combat sports. Every single practice and sparring session that you go to, you're going to get hit in the head 100%. And you're getting closer and closer to something really bad happening to you. But every single mile you put on the road, it's a greater and greater chance that something happens to you too. And if anything, again, driving, people actually die driving all the time. Yeah. People don't die in combat sports all the time. Although you have that fear as if you're going into it and you could die. And again, that was where my question came from, because you could.
Yeah.
But yet I get in a car every day and I'm okay. If I'm okay with that level of risk, why am I not okay with the other level of risk? But the devil's advocate side to me says
manifestation's big too.
I essentially have to drive. I don't have to box. That's the devil's advocate side to me, is that, like, although I get a lot of pros out of it, and that's why you do it. Again, like I said before, I don't have to do that. I kind of have to drive. So in my head, I'm thinking, do I put myself in a situation that I don't have to be in that could potentially be really detrimental?
Well, I go to a fight, and I'm like, there's one option. I'm winning this motherfucker.
Yeah, but it's a priority thing.
And again, I'm just being super honest about how I feel about it. I love 100%. Boxing.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But every time I go into a sparring session, I'm thinking I could get hit in the face hard. And by the way, random other adult thing, right? I don't have health insurance.
Hold on.
So if I go to boxing and I break my nose, guess who's not going to the emergency room? Guess who's got to put an ice pack on that bitch, because I ain't got no choice.
It's a priority thing.
Right?
It's a priority thing.
So my point is, why even put myself in that situation? Now, why? Because I love it, and that's why. But I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't have that kind of fear. Like, I don't have the fear of it. You know, like I've heard fighters say before, if a fighter says that they're not afraid before they go into the ring, they're lying.
Yeah.
They're either lying or they're
100%.
Or they're stupid. Or they're stupid. Or their brain is like,
I'm telling you.
You know.
It's a priority thing.
Yeah.
Because you look at, if you look at life at taking risks, you have to take a risk no matter small,
no matter what you do.
Large, no matter what. You have to box. Like, to me, I've got to do, like, I'm doing this fitness challenge right now where I'm running 100 miles in 30 days. I'm 96 miles. I have 96 miles to go, and I started 3 days ago.
What?
So I got to get my shit together, crap together. Do I have to do it? Probably not. But in order for me to achieve the best version of myself, I have to do it.
Yeah, it's a goal.
It's a goal. So,
well, that's the thing. Like you mentioned with boxing, it's like I can, when I first started the competition team boxing, my commitment was to have one fight.
Right.
And so, like, to your point, it's like, dude, can I really live the rest of my life knowing that I didn't do that when I said I was going to do it? No, I cannot.
No.
And the mindset changes. You know, like, goddamn, I've always wanted kids. You know, and my girl and I,
dude,
we want to have kids, and we're looking forward to it. When it happens, it happens. We're not really planning it. We're just like, hey, when we have kids, we have kids.
Bro, they're the best thing ever.
Yeah, and I can't fucking wait for it. Like, I know for one thing, I've always wanted to be a father. I may step back on a couple of my risks. I don't know. Or because I've also got this mindset too, is like, but I don't want to backtrack just because I have kids.
Right.
Because I want them to go all out in life. I want them to live their life to the fullest. So I want to be the example. I want them to be like, yo, you know, instead of being like, hey, Superman, I'm sorry. But real quick, instead of being like, hey, Superman's my hero, Batman's my hero, they'll be like, yo, legit, my dad's my fucking hero. Dude. He fucking climbs mountains. He jumps out of planes and squirrel suits. He ran all boxes. That's my fucking hero. And I want to be the hero to my kids, legit.
I hear you on that one. That's a good one. I hear you on that one.
7 years ago, I never wanted kids. I was wanting to be.
Like, you actively did not want children?
Bro, I was wanting
to be. Like, you thought you were going to go through your life without kids?
I always it would happen at, like, late 40s maybe.
But you were like.
But I was finna be Hugh Hefner.
Put that off as far away.
After my ex, I was going to hire a surrogate. There was a point. There's a couple of points I wanted to do surrogacy.
I'm telling you, I was going to hit the point to where Hugh Hefner and I were boys. Like, I'm finna just run a Playboy mansion. I met my future wife, whom October 2nd will be my wife.
I'll be there.
You better be.
I got an invite.
Whom has a kid, and I met her when she was 2.5. Dude, I'm telling you right now, the reason I work so hard, I have 2 businesses, currently working on a 3rd one, is because when she turns 18 and she walks across her graduation stage and they say, hey, what's helped you? I want her to say her real father, because I hope and pray that's that. Like, I know her dad, and I know that he works hard, and I hope that she sees that. But I hope that at that moment she's like, my dad and my stepdad have changed my life.
That's cool.
Because, dude, I'm telling you,
super cool.
Reason I wake up is because I not only want my wife to have everything she wants, but, like, I look at that little girl and I'm like, listen, if I'm not exceeding all expectations that I give myself in a day, she's going to go to school and do okay. And she's going to go to this and do okay. And she's going to go to this and do okay. I want her to
exceed in every fucking way.
Yes. Crush it. Dude, I'm telling her every day, I'm like, look, you can do anything you want to do.
Yeah.
You set your mind to it, it's done. Just go do it.
The world is yours.
Done. Mm-hmm. It's done.
I agree with you 110%, man.
That's it. I'm telling you, you're going to be a good dad because you'll say that squirrel suit stuff and you'll be like, I'll do it anyway.
I mean, without doubt, you know, I'm stoked to have kids. I'm actually, speaking of, I'm going to have my niece, you know, I took her to, the niece I took to Universal and all that shit. She's cool as fuck. My niece, Jaden, I'm going to have her on the podcast soon.
Let's go.
Just to kind of get the Relentless Pursuit idea from a, 10, 11-year-old
She's
mind.
How old is she? 10?
10? Yeah, 10? I'm going to say 10. So
hopefully not 11. But
yeah,
10.
She's 10. Sure. But yeah, I'm getting it from her mindset. Like, hey, and I feel like it'd be kind of cool to look through a kid's mindset and stuff like that, because they look at things so differently than we do.
They do, man.
So it's a beautiful thing. I can't wait to be a dad, but that'll be here one day.
You'll get there, dude.
Yeah, and no rush, but no use in waiting either. So
do whatever you want to do, but we are at
2
hours and 10 minutes.
Jesus Christ,
bro! You know what my favorite thing about this is that when I see
2 hours and 10 minutes, bro.
When
like 45 minutes ago, you were like, I got 15 minutes left.
When I see you,
I didn't want to mention it because I didn't want him to jump out.
When I see you, time flies fast, and same for you, dude. Like literally every time I'm hanging out with you guys.
Well, tell Morgan thank you for allowing you to be here.
It's a special thing. It's for a good cause.
That's y'all's bone to pick. That's y'all's fault.
That's what we're saying.
So far, Morgan, I think Morgan likes me, so I'll be like, hey, thank you, give her a hug.
That's what I'm saying. Put it on us if you feel free.
Or just put it on me. He'd be like, Joe forced me. He likes
every true man would say, hey, it's their fault.
I said 15 minutes.
Yeah,
I said 15 minutes.
Babe, swear to God, I was leaving at 7. Swear to God.
Joe had me at gunpoint under the table.
And the thing is, like, I didn't know recording, and then it's like another 30 minutes, and then
you know. But she also respects the hustle as well. And she's always like, "Listen,
she appreciates it."
When I say it's an hour, she's like, "I'll automatically book out 3." That's good.
That's cool. That's cool. But you know what? With doing things we do, man, like we don't have a set schedule. Like any woman that's like involved in our lives have to understand that it's not going to be a 9 to 5. It's not going to be an 8 to 4 or whatever. It's going to be like sometimes you're working from 6 to 9 doing podcasts. And it isn't work. This is great, man. We're drinking and having conversation, but it is fucking work, dude. It's stuff that's being done. It's productive. It's getting out 100%. There. It's contributing to our brands, our businesses, and whatever.
Well, if you do
it's very, and it's positive conversation, 100%. Man. Things people are going to take. So, but they understand, man. We're entrepreneurs. Yeah. Doing what we do. We don't have it set like that. So
you have to be with somebody that understands that. And if you do it the right way, it's like you said, it's fun and like we are producing a podcast right now. Yeah, like of the 3 of us, I'm technically the most clocked in. And like I don't even
Whoa.
I'm just saying
hold on, I gotta post something.
I'm just saying technically I'm working. It doesn't feel like it because we're just hanging out.
No, of course.
It's good work, man. But that's absolutely right. That's the lives we've created for ourselves.
And that's great whenever you do have a partner that's like understands that.
I'm okay with that.
Like, yeah.
Listen, I am a full on board with love and love. I love love. I think love's the greatest thing ever.
I do. Hey, love's the only way to reach God. The only way you can understand God is through love. Love and devotion.
You hear that?
That's what I truly believe. Yeah, you do them bird calls. I can't do.
It's like Tika. What's her name?
Fuck Tico. Fuck that bird.
That was a good.
I have to go.
Don't bring that up.
That was a good callback to the beginning. So let's.
That was. I have to go get to my wife.
Yes. So
tell them you gotta go.
Tell the audience.
Hey, it's not us.
I'm gonna be back for a 3rd time just because I love this place.
Yes.
And if you guys are not buying Relentless Pursuit clothing or listening to the Relentless Pursuit podcast and or not visiting the Relentless Pursuit headquarters, you're kind of missing out on life.
Hey, I just got to say thank you tremendously to my boy Tyler. I loved having you here tonight. It's been a good time, a little change of pace, drinking the liquor, drinking some whiskey. We've all had a good time.
I didn't even have that much.
It's been cool. We've had great conversation, though. We've had a lot of fun. I mean, I look forward to doing stuff like this. This is one of the best parts of Relentless Pursuit is the podcast, because
I agree.
I just enjoy.
The best thing about content creation is whenever you actually have fun with it.
Yeah.
Because it's actually fun to sit down and like make something.
Bullshit.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's fun. It's fun to.
Well,
sit
you're
down,
just
like,
bullshitting though. Essentially,
conversation.
It's not bullshit, but
when you see the final product and you like sit down and listen to it and you see the clips and shit,
yeah.
it's like it's almost doesn't even register. Like we had to sit down and create that because it's like you're just.
It's just organic, man.
I agree.
Maybe not. It's not bullshitting, but it's organic stuff.
Again, I'll be editing this shit for 6 hours, so I know you guys don't feel like it's that big.
No, I mean, listen, I'll help any way I can. All I'm saying is I appreciate you. The man that you are. I appreciate you and the man that you are and the work that you guys do. Regardless if you think it's true or not, you guys make me work harder. So I appreciate it. Listen, I fly the RP flag just as much as I fly any other one. So
damn right, baby.
And the Sentiment 83. Actually, I'm gonna kick it back to the Area 83 just because I know the OGs.
I see you.
Hell yeah.
So I see you. Well, again, good way to close it out. I'd say that same way back with you, brother. I mean, I think we both feel that way, and like I said earlier, I think that you're a genuine pioneer when it comes to this community, when it comes to all of this kind of stuff, when it comes to putting yourself out there, when it comes to the message that you put out, when it comes to fucking being on podcasts, when it comes to all this stuff. You're one of the very first around here.
I don't know about that, but
hey, listen, I'll say I was one of the first too. But you
guys, I gotta piss so bad.
One of the first two. We're done. We're done.
Oh, yeah.
We're done.
Hey, check us out. Relentless Pursuit Lifestyle.com. Relentless _ Pursuit on Instagram and Relentless Pursuit _ HQ on Instagram. And check my boy out. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Thanks for tuning in.
Let's go.
We'll see y'all later.
God, man. I'm gonna piss myself. Dude, that was fun.